Last week, the Wildcats wounded the Warhawks of McMurray in a 60-17 victory, bringing the Cats to 2-0 on the season. I'm Kara Stutzman.
And I'm Grant Boone. The Cats will have to cowboy up as a very good New Mexico Highlands team rides into Shotwell tonight. Giddy up! The Ken Collums Show starts right now. Welcome into Studio D1 for Week 3 of the Ken Collums Show. I'm Grant Boone, joined by ACU Senior Broadcast Journalism major Kara Stutzman and the second-year head coach of the Wildcats, Ken Collums. Coach, another big night at Shotwell Stadium last week, 60-17 against McMurray, and another big crowd on hand. It was a good night at the ballpark, wasn't it?
It was a big night. It was a big win, and of course, I've been in this long enough to know that every win is a big win. When you win a game, it's a really good deal, but the atmosphere was awesome. Everybody was excited for our second home game, and we went out and played well.
And it was Pediatric Cancer Awareness Night at the ballpark, benefiting the P4X Foundation. And the second half, you came out with a P4X shirt on.
That's right. Yep, had to help out my guy Rex. So hey, it was all for him, and just to let everybody know how important he was to our program.
Raised a lot of money that night, I know.
Well, football wasn't the only team that got a huge win this week. The girls volleyball team on Tuesday night beat Texas Tech in 4 sets. How does that not only help the morale of the volleyball team, but all of the ACU athletics?
Well, just for the volleyball team, I mean, that's awesome. You go out and you beat a team regardless of the situation. You beat a Big 12 team, and that's going to do nothing but help you. And it's going to help Coach Mock in recruiting. The whole landscape is about to change for them. And of course, it's still going to be a tough road, but a win like that always helps. For us, on the outside looking in, I mean, it's just fun. I mean, I was a fan, and I was screaming and hollering and fussing, and some of the things I didn't quite understand that happened. But you know, that's volleyball, right? And but it was a great night, and it was a big time win. I'm very happy. I'm so grateful that we have Coach Mock and what they're doing. And it was a really good deal.
And just like the football game, big props to the student body. I mean, they've really come out for the football games. Huge crowd there on Tuesday night at Moody Coliseum, really good. And hopefully the fun will continue and you guys can finish off a big week of ACU sports on Saturday night, tonight, in fact, when you take on New Mexico Highlands. Well, when we come back, we will show you the highlights of that big runaway victory against McMurray, 60-17, the final score. We'll have that for you when we come back on the Ken Collums Show.
Abilene and Big Country shoppers, if you're looking to upgrade to a new Chevrolet, Buick, Cadillac, or GMC, car, truck, or SUV, Lawrence Hall in Abilene is the best place to shop. You'll find the largest selection in West Texas, including the incredible new 2014 trucks from Chevy and GMC to great fuel-efficient cars with over 15 models rated 30 mpg or higher. So shop at home and save. At Lawrence Hall in Abilene, you won't find a better deal in any direction.
Welcome back to the Ken Collums Show. Sharkandrick West is moving north up the Wildcats' all-time touchdown list. His career night last Saturday propelled ACU to a 60-17 rout of McMurray. With the highlights, here's Matt Sloan. Here's Baker handing off up the middle. Shark 45-50 breaks into the clear. He's into McMurray territory to the go.
John David Baker runs the quarterback draw on 3rd and long for a first down. That sets up an ACU touchdown. McMurray answers with a field goal that was partially blocked, but it squeaks in the narrow gap for a 7-3 lead. Then Taylor Gabriel makes his first catch of the season, setting up ACU in the red zone. From there, Sharkendrick West scores the first of his 4 touchdowns and knifes in for 6.
Number 26, Sharkendrick West, with a 14-yard touchdown run.
Before you hit the ground.
McMurray marches down the field trying to answer and sets up this 4th down.
It's a snap. They're going to run a play. Lambert looking. Wide open. Dumps it off to Simpson. One man to beat. It's Blake Rudd. And Rudd runs it backwards. Right at the line of scrimmage. And a gun. Takes the snap and drops straight back. Pressure coming up the middle. Picked up by Shark. Baker across the 35 to the 40 to the 45-yard line. Back to the inside. He's at midfield. McHugh breaks a couple of tackles. Ball on the ground. It's scooped up by Blake Rudd. 1st and 10 ACU. DeMarcus Thompson split near right. Handoff up the middle. Shark well blocked across the 30, 25. Stutter step to the 15. Still on his feet to the 5. Dives. Did he get the pylon? 10! Sharkendrick West does it again. 34 yards out.
Coming out of halftime, McMurray is trying to establish the run and gashes ACU on a huge outside give, setting up a Warhawk touchdown and narrowing the gap.
Shotgun, takes the snap and drops straight back. Time to throw. Wants to go deep instead, pulls it back, runs to his left. He's got room. 20, 15, 10, 5. John David, touchdown! Had a good night tonight. Here we go on 1st and 10. Ball up in the air, and it will be intercepted by Thor Warner. Tip drill. Offense, you expect the
The
percentages
Thor
to be a
Warner
little higher.
interception seemingly finished off the Warhawks offense for the night, and the defense left their mark. ACU wins this one, 60-17.
All right, thanks, Matt. Good stuff. Good stuff for your team, Coach. 60-17. It looks like a big score. It is a big score, a big win, big margin of victory. But unlike Game 1 against Concordia, your team did have to deal with a little bit of adversity, and you told me you wanted to see that. There were some moments where you had to rally from some good plays by McMurray and some of your own bad plays.
Sure, and a football team is not defined by a single quarter or a single game or a single score. You know, there's going to be really good things that happen during the course of a game, and there are going to be some really bad things that happen. And how you respond to that is the makeup of your team. We just hadn't been tested up to that point to where we, we muff the kickoff and then literally kick it around. Looks like a circus there for about 5 or 6 seconds.
Well, the fair was across the,
That's right.
the parking lot.
And he must have been looking at the Ferris wheel or something over there. So, that didn't work out, and that was a bummer.
Yeah.
So that was 14 points just like that.
It's a 32-17 game
That's right.
with not much time going by in the third.
And what it does, it gives your offense a sense of a little bit of tightness going, hey, guys, all right, we got to make some first downs. We got to score. And what we did, we responded properly. And so that said a lot about our offense. Not that we've arrived or anything like that, but that's our first test of just that feeling of, all right, guys, let's go. And they responded. So I was very happy with it.
And I know that's more important because of who you play tonight. A very good 8-3 last year New Mexico Highlands team, and then next week on the road at one of last year's FCS playoff teams, Illinois State. All right, how about some numbers here for you? 53 rushes for 333 net rushing yards. That's the most attempts you've had and the most yards you've gained since a September 2009 game against Eastern New Mexico. Now, at that particular point of the 2009 season, just the third or fourth game in, you were still trying to figure out who your quarterback was going to be. And Mitchell Gale had not yet ascended to starter, and so you were relying heavily on the run. In fact, that year, you had 6 straight games where you rushed the ball at least 40 times. And this is for a team that has had all kinds of records for throwing it all over the lot. Was the increased number of rushes and yards, was that a function of who you were playing, the game situation, or a heightened commitment to the run, or a combination of those things?
Well, probably a little bit of everything, because when you play a team that you feel like, all right, we should be able to run the ball on these guys, you want to go out and do it. Because if you're not good at the run, later on it's going to come back to bite you. Because there are going to be people that are where our matchups might be better inside rather than outside. We'd play a team with really good defensive backs or a big corner that's going to knock our timing off or something like that, then you may want to run the ball a little bit more. And we were able to do that. We're doing some different things in the run game this year that we've got to work on, and we'll continue to add run schemes and more, simply because part of that is to tailor this thing around John David. And not that he can't throw it. We all have seen him throw and throw strikes, but what he brings to the table is a heightened sense of the run game and being able to, or having to defend the run from sideline to sideline, which hasn't been the case necessarily. We've made people do that in the past as far as defending the pass, but not necessarily the run. So it is a new look, not necessarily a different approach. We're just adding and building this thing around John David.
Well, speaking of John David, last week he became the first ACU quarterback since 1965 to rush for 100 yards in a game. And why that's even more impressive is the fact that in the college football game, the way they keep stats, sacks count against your rushing total. So the one sack in which he lost yardage, 7 yards, actually went against his rushing total. Still, he cracks the century mark. Here's what I'm more interested in knowing from you, from having seen the film of his first two starts. Is he running at the appropriate times? There are some quarterbacks who, because they can run, don't let plays materialize long enough. I know when Mitchell Gale was just getting started, you thought he was running too quickly. He wasn't letting plays develop. How's John David doing in that regard?
Well, when you look at a quarterback, if the guy's running all the time, he either is not comfortable with what he's doing, or he is not comfortable with the play that's called and doesn't have necessarily the confidence to make that throw, or if he is just a little bit nervous and his eyes drop down to the rush. None of those are the case at this point with John David. He ran a couple of times where I thought he shouldn't in game one. Extended plays that were a little bit dicey, kind of street balling as we refer to it as, but he settled down. And in game two, I thought he should have run a couple of times more where he did throw the ball down the field. So it is a balance, and I'm constantly trying to push buttons with him. Hey, you be aggressive with the throw, make that throw. But hey, I can run, and you can make first downs with your legs. So there's a balance of that, and he has got a really good feel for it. The thing is, when he comes to the sideline, it's obvious to me that he knows what's going on out there. He has an awareness of, when we took the sack, that was a protection bust. He got hit by a guy who, he goes, "Coach, I have no idea who that was." Well, that tells me, he wasn't worried about him because he knew he was protected.
It was a corner, wasn't it?
No, it was just it was an outside linebacker. Let's don't talk about it. I'll start.
You were having a good day until I mentioned that.
Yeah, we start taking sacks on the quarterback there. It's not good, but he knew. You know what? I didn't know who that was because assignment-wise he was taken care of. So I'm very pleased with his progression, and we're going to continue to build this thing around him and let him play.
Well, so far so good for John David Baker. As many touchdowns thrown as incompletions through 2 games. And Sharkhandrick West wasn't bad either. Kara Stutzman will get to know the senior from Spring Hill, Louisiana, coming off a career night last Saturday night. When we come back, we'll head up to the JMC Network Sports Desk to recap a memorable week in ACU athletics. When we return on the Ken Collums Show.
Abilene, the secret is out. Holy Cow has the best burgers in town. How'd they do it? Fresh, all-natural ingredients, their secret spices, and quality meat that's never frozen. Enjoy our free and unique toppings from grilled bell peppers to jalapenos to grilled mushrooms and sautéed onions. And don't forget to add our homemade french fries and onion rings made fresh daily. Visit us on Judge Ely or our new South 14th location. Holy Cow Burgers, Rings, and Things.
Abilene and Big Country shoppers, if you're looking to upgrade to a new Chevrolet, Buick, Cadillac, or GMC, car, truck, or SUV, Lawrence Hall in Abilene is the best place to shop. You'll find the largest selection in West Texas, including the incredible new 2014 trucks from Chevy and GMC to great fuel-efficient cars with over 15 models rated 30 mpg or higher. So shop at home and save. At Lawrence Hall in Abilene, you won't find a better deal in any direction.
Welcome back to the Ken Collums Show. Earlier this week, I caught up with ACU running back Sharkhandrick West to get to know a bit about the man beneath the helmet. Now, Shark, you're 2 touchdowns away from busting into the top 10 of ACU's all-time touchdowns for a running back. When did you find that out, and how are you feeling about that?
I found out Saturday night after the game on Twitter from Grant Boone, and it's exciting to know that I can be in such a accomplishment with such great people at ACU.
Well, you weren't originally going to ACU from what I hear. How exactly did you get to ACU? What's the story behind that?
Well, I wasn't a Division I qualifier, so I had to go Division II, and it was either here or Harding. Coach them called me and told me if I'm going to come, I need to be here the next day, so I had to make a decision like that. And ACU put a lot of guys in the NFL, and so I decided to come here.
And you actually got here the Friday before the first game, so you weren't here for the first, 4 days of class. What was that like, coming to the practice on that Friday and having to learn everything right before the game?
I was just lost, and then I was out here on Fridays we do walkthroughs, and I was the only guy here in a helmet and shoulder pads. So all the guys were just making fun of me, so it wasn't a very good experience.
Now, you mentioned earlier a lot of guys go to the NFL, and that's something that you're aspiring to do. Is there a certain team, or how do you plan to get to that point?
I just want to stay healthy and have a great year, but I could care less what team I play for.
Now, I see you have quite a bit of tats. Could you tell me, what was your first tat?
My mother's name. I got it right here when I was, I think, 18, when I turned 18.
Okay, and what's your mom's name again?
Tracy.
Tracy. Okay, and what are all of your other tattoos?
This one is a tribal tattoo. I have no clue why I got it. This one is my older sister. This one is the Lord's Prayer, Fresh Prayer I learned. 4 stars from my grandmother, mother, and 2 little sisters that say I love you right there. This is my little sister, and this one says, only God can judge me.
Awesome. Well, that's cool. I appreciate you coming out and letting us check out your tats. For a look at all the other sports around campus, here's Matt Sloan and Sharon Numerowski with the JMC Sportscast.
Welcome to the JMC Network Sportscast. I'm Sharon Numerowski. The volleyball team shocked everyone Tuesday by beating Big 12 school Texas Tech. This victory is a huge confidence booster for the Wildcats. Sarah Siemens talked about how the team can use the momentum from this win this coming weekend.
The morale's really, really high. I think it's just we went out there, we had a goal and we accomplished the goal, and it just feels really awesome that I don't think to be the underdogs and come out on top in that game. So yeah, that was really awesome.
The Wildcat golf team played in their first tournament of the year this week. Monday and Tuesday, ACU hosted the Charles Cootie West Texas Intercollegiate, and junior Corbin Renner won the tournament with a final round 6 under par 65 that will give him lots of confidence heading into the rest of the season.
Just going into the day, all I wanted to do, my game plan was to hit fairways and hit greens and then just go from there, because on day 1 the wind blew, and I knew from looking at the Weather Channel that the second day it was going to blow just as much. So that was my game plan, and I ended up hitting 17 greens in every single fairway. So that was really what led to my 65 yesterday.
ACU Tennis starts their fall season with a tournament in Midland this weekend. The move to Division I brings excitement for the team, as well as a new advantage for the matches. We caught up with Micah Hermsdorf to hear about the transition.
Well, originally we were only allowed to have 2 spots, 2 for guys, 2 for girls. But since we're D1 now, they're going to go ahead and let us have 4 spots. So we get 2 doubles teams for both the guys and the girls, and 4 singles spots for the guys and the girls. So that's going to be pretty exciting, just so we have more people to represent our school there.
Thank you for watching the JMC Network Sportscast. I'm Sharon Numerowski.
And I'm Matthew Sloan. Join us again next week.
When we get back, we'll take a look at some scores around the Southland Conference and preview tonight's game against New Mexico Highlands. So stay right here on the Ken Collums Show.
Abilene, the secret is out. Holy Cow has the best burgers in town. How'd they do it? Fresh, all-natural ingredients, their secret spices, and quality meat that's never frozen. Enjoy our free and unique toppings from grilled bell peppers to jalapenos to grilled mushrooms and sauteed onions. And don't forget to add our homemade french fries and onion rings made fresh daily. Visit us on Judge Ely or our new South 14th location. Holy Cow Burgers, Rings, and Things.
Back here on the Ken Collums Show, let's take a look at some of the scores from last week in the Southland Conference. Coach, as we see here, Texas A&M finally took it to Sam Houston State. That was a game that was much closer earlier in the game. And then your former boss, Clint Conk, and your alma mater, UCA, they went up and played Colorado into a very tight game, and the Buffs finally won it 38-24. He's done a great job there.
Yeah, he has, and they played a really good game up there, and turnovers ended up costing them. They've got a really good quarterback up there at UCA, and he ended up, for the first time in his career, I think, throwing 3 interceptions in the same game. So not a good deal, not a good finish, but they went up and made everybody proud.
And we'll get to go see your alma mater here before too long. Next couple of years, get to travel and see that purple and gray field up there.
Yeah.
No,
not really.
Yeah, so that's not in your scheme if and when
so
ACU gets that on-campus stadium? All right.
Well, Coach, tonight you play easily one of the best teams you've faced all season long in the New Mexico Highland Cowboys. And they have a senior quarterback in Manny Lewis who's thrown nearly 4,000 yards total offense last season. Tell us some of your impressions on seeing film on him.
Well, the guy can throw the ball. He can make any throw, very similar to what we've had Mitchell Gale and Billy Malone. The guy can, if there's a deep comeback to the field, guess what? If he's open, the guy's going to be able to complete the pass. He's got enough touch where he can throw the ball, short in the middle of the field, and he's missed a couple of deep balls in game one, but I'm quite sure they've worked on it. And the thing is, secondary-wise, we better have tight coverage, and which will be tough because they've got some receivers that can really go now. They've got 2 guys that are that'll stretch the field, but then also can maneuver and run good routes. So that's going to make it tough. Of course, it all comes coverage. A lot of times is not really. I mean, it's the defensive backs covering those guys are important. But it's how much pressure are you getting on the passer? And you can take Tom Brady, and if he's got a guy in his face, he's not going to be quite as effective. So we've just got to do a good job of being disciplined, compressing the quarterback, and making him throw the ball, contested. Contested throws, that's going to be the key this week.
He is a dual threat quarterback, and they are coming off a 31-28 win over Eastern New Mexico. So for ASU fans who don't know much about the Cowboys, haven't seen him play, is there someone that he reminds you of? Is he similar, let's say, to a Brandon Kelsey of Midwestern, who is a dual threat guy, can hurt you with the arm and with his legs? Is he more of a Daniel Polk type, the great quarterback at Midwestern State? Does he remind you of anyone that we've played in recent years?
Not so much. He's a better passer than those 2 guys. And of course, those guys were effective in what they did.
Sure.
But these guys offensively, they'll do more of what we do. Midwestern is normally a quick throw, catch the ball, get it out. That complemented their run game. Well, these guys are play action, drop back, throw on the move. So they do a lot of different things, which makes it a little bit tougher.
All right, let's go to the other side of the ball. When you guys have the ball and New Mexico Highlands is on defense, last week, they limited a very run-heavy Eastern New Mexico team. The Greyhounds, unlike those days when they were throwing it 70 times a game, they're a run team now. They held them to less than 3.5 yards per rush. Shirkandrick West, for your team, is averaging better than 8 yards per rush. In terms of their front four, they run a 4-3 defense. What have you seen from them, and what do you expect your offense to be able to possibly at least have a chance to do to be effective against them?
Well, the first thing you notice with these guys is their defensive front. They're going to compress, and they're big. They've got some big guys, some strong guys that that in game one did a really good job, and did a good job last year. But Eastern New Mexico knows how to run the football, and to limit them like that says something about, number one, their entire defense, but number one, about their front four. They mix up their fronts. They'll play some 3 down, play some 4 down, and some old Buddy Ryan double eagle bear front type stuff. And they make you do a really thorough job offensively to be able to run the ball against them. They've got athletic linebackers, a couple of taller corners, some of the taller corners that we've seen, and so it should be tough. They like to crowd the ball. Of course, their number one thing is to stop the run, and that in the game of football, if you can't stop the run, then you're going to struggle. So. They know that. They've done a really good job recruiting. Their head coach is a defensive-minded guy, so he's going to show up. And number one, he's going to try to stop Shirkandrick West, which is a challenge because we're doing things offensively to help get Shirkandrick sprung in the run game and in the passing game. He hadn't caught that many passes, but He's going to catch passes. You know, you look at the history of our offense, the running back position basically makes up 50% of the production, whether it's in the run game or run pass. You know, and he fits right into that. And as long as he's healthy and he's ginning and we can get a body on a body, then we should be fine. But they're always going to try to outnumber you in the box, that's the way the game's played on defense. To stop the run, you better be able to do that. But their front four, how we handle their front four is going to determine a lot of the success tonight.
Well, talking about our defense, linebacker Justin Stevens didn't play at all last week. Is he going to be good to go against this very good Cowboy offense?
Yeah, and we're going to need him. He'll be back. He'll be playing with a plate in his hand. It's just kind of that's the way linebackers live their lives. You know how you get beat up. We send you to the doctor, put you back together, and now you're back out on the field. He is a tough guy, very intelligent, super instinctive, and playing against guys like this, you're going to need guys like Justin Stevens.
Coach, you play tonight, and then you don't play at home again for another month, and that'll be the homecoming game, and that homecoming game will be your last game at home. Is there any extra sense of urgency knowing you got one more week at home and then only one other game the rest of the year?
Not really, because the bottom line is you go out and play that game, and if you're grasping or trying to create more passion with a certain type of approach, that's going to probably burn out within the first couple of plays. So the bottom line is your guys better show up, they better be ready, and yeah, in the back of their mind, they just know we're not going to be at home for a long time, and it's going to only be one more shot at home. So do I use that? Not really. I haven't yet, but you know, we're grinding them, and they're going to be ready anyway, regardless if we had 5 more home games or just one more. One of them told me yesterday, "Hey, I'm ready to put on those white uniforms. Those are going to be sweet." So yeah, you know, there's good and bad to all of it.
It will be a different kind of grind starting next week, though, won't it? 7 of the next 9 weeks, one of those being an off week, you'll be on the road.
That's right.
Yeah.
We're going to be road warriors.
Well,
and we're all over the place, so it'll be fun. It'll be interesting. We're playing new people, so that in and of itself is a challenge, but it'll be fun.
Well, one more chance to enjoy it tonight. This run of 3 consecutive games at Shotwell Stadium ends with New Mexico Highlands against ACU. 6 o'clock kickoff. We'll have the pregame show on radio and online at 5:30. Lance Fleming and I will have the call. For Kara Stutzman and for the coach Ken Collums, I'm Grant Boone. Thanks for watching the Ken Collums Show. We'll see you next week.